I hate feminism.
The girl boss babes are tired of this.
Women shouldn't have kids outside of marriage.
That's why society is crumbling. I am over the state of things right now. Family is the nucleus of society. It is our first teacher. It is where our core values start to develop, where we're taught how to deal with others. So when we step away from this foundational structure, the very dynamic that is meant to teach us, to guide us, and to help us develop and become good human beings, we start to see a lot of negative implications in society.
Yeah.
And you and I were talking the other day, and one of those things that we see happening because of the breakaway in family is the rise in single parent household. And that is exacerbated by the fact that people are no longer waiting to have kids within marriage.
Yes, and I see the loss of the value of the core values, and because the family is no longer the nucleus of society. Society is crumbling nowadays, and a lot of kids growing. Usually, the mom is the one that keeps the kid.
90% of single parent households are headed by moms.
By moms, yeah, and a lot of kids growing without a male figure, and this affects mostly boys, but also girls. But in the future, boys will be affected the most because they don't have someone to discipline them, someone to follow, to learn from,
A role model.
Yeah, to learn how to provide, how to protect, how they grow without knowing all of this. And nowadays we have a society that is lost.
Yeah, and the boys, they go to school and they're taught by female teachers because most females are the ones graduating from universities. And so the boys, not having father figures at home, they go to school, the second teacher in life, the school, and they're met with female teachers. And that also is causing the mass hysteria about where are the men, where are the good men, what happened to the men in our society, because most of them are in jail.
And feminism is pushing like, oh, you shouldn't be too masculine, or masculinity is a problem when it's not.
Masculinity is toxic.
And the roles of like female roles and masculine roles are being all mixed up. And also because single moms have to work, they aren't usually present in their like raising kids. So someone else ends up raising them without proper values. Sometimes even an older brother or sister is the one raising them, or grandparents, and there's not enough attention played into raising this new human being that is going to be part of the future of the society.
And what happens also with the girls, right? They grew up in single parent household. Girls that grew up in single parent household led by moms are more likely to get pregnant at an earlier age and then continue the cycle. So another cycle in this generation, in this family that is pregnant at a young age without a father in the home, and the boys are more likely to end up in jail. In fact, the Department of Justice in the U.S. stated that 70% of the boys that are in governmental institutions such as jails, detention centers, comes from fatherless homes. And so this cycle continues. Girls get pregnant at a young age, no father. Boys end up in jail, and then we all grow up and we wonder, where are the males?
And do you know why I see it? Because if the mom is busy working, trying to provide, there are no rules. There is too much freedom. And when you're young, you just want to do everything. And girls, I can see girls and boys exploring this new sexuality, being clapped by society, saying like, you're free to do as you please. Just go and have sex with as much people
and also
as you want. So there's no one to put a
guide
stop
them
or guide them. And and the consequences of all of this is having more kids
without a stable family. Because what is a cycle? So start from a single parent household, one parent, one income. You don't have the resources to send a child to a proper school, so you start to send them to low income schools. You don't have the funds to invest in the development of this child further, to develop further skills in this child, because your goal right now is just survival. And so what happens, that child grows up become a low-income person, and the cycle of poverty, of lack continues, and then you have a whole generation, a whole section of people that is living below means, and this is the start of that vicious cycle. And this is happening because we're stepping away from this beautiful foundational structure that is supposed to be the family.
Yes.
And I blame feminism for this, for leading for allowing women to think that it's okay to just have kids outside of marriage just because I am a woman. It is bizarre to me. We were talking about this video on Instagram.
Are you single?
Kinda.
What do you mean, kinda?
I mean, like, I have a baby daddy.
But it's not serious with him.
Fuck no.
So how'd the baby come before the title?
So like, he's my best friend. We've been friends, like, kicking it for 4 years. And now we have a baby.
But why not ask him to just be your man and make it official?
Because I'm 25, I don't want to do that.
What are you waiting on?
Like, marriage is for the rest of your life. The average lifespan's like 80 years. That's 40-some years.
But you have a child with this man.
I find it crazy that this girl saying like, oh, I am still young and I don't want to do such commitment, like long commitment to get married. Married is for the rest of your life, but also having a kid with that person, it's for the rest of your life. There is like, how are you afraid of commitment? And I could see that
having a child is a big commitment.
Bigger. I think it's bigger.
You're impacting society.
But you know what? I think she was coming from the fact that she doesn't want to lose her freedom of playing around with other
promiscuity.
Guys. Yes.
And feminism taught women that
it's okay. Like
it's okay.
You don't have to just
settle with one person.
Guy.
And who says that marriage is bondage or slavery? Like, if you marry right, if you take, first of all, the thing about having getting married and having kids, like a lot of people will say, oh, stop shaming women for having kids outside of marriage. I'm not shaming women for having kids outside of marriage. Kids are beautiful. Kids are wonderful blessings from God. But it's like wearing a seatbelt in a car, right?
Yeah.
Wearing a seatbelt is that extra protection. So yeah, someone might say, oh, you might get divorced. Yeah, that does happen. But
you can also get into a car accident.
Yeah, but wearing the seatbelt reduces the likelihood of you dying in that car accident. So the thing also about getting married is that you don't get married in a vacuum. There is the mother-in-law, the father-in-law. There's a community around you when you get married, and those people are invested in your lives. That's why you have a wedding party. You know, these people are invested. These people know your partner, and they're also invested in your future. And because we're stepping away from that, we're just raising kids on our own. No community.
No one to support you. No one to be there to help. Or when things are going south or are getting rough, you don't have a support. And I could see as well, like, I feel for those single mothers that they don't have enough time to wake their kids to prepare breakfast because they have to go work early on and not being present. So new generations are just
getting by
and raising themselves through internet or through other things that might not be the best role models to follow.
One phenomenon that I saw in my country, a developing country, Jamaica, is that moms will leave the kids with another family member, which sometimes can be good, but it's not the best situation to remove the mom and dad from the child's life, and they go overseas to work and leave the child at home. And sometimes children, they get abused, they get neglected, they suffer a lot, they do bad in school, and they sometimes feel this loneliness and this void because they don't have their parents.
My parent left me behind.
No one support them in school. And yes, it is fine and it's wonderful to work hard for
trying to provide.
But I don't believe that being in survival mode is the best for a child's development, and that is what a lot of single parents are doing. And that is why I am not in support of having kids outside of marriage. I think that it is the best safeguard, safety net the future of your child, to choose right partners, and to have children within a stable union with family support.
That's the best. That would be the best outcome. And a lot of things can happen, but you have this safety of, hey, I have my husband's support. I have the family of my husband's support, and not always happens like that. But you have something that will have your back. And working with kids, I could see how the influence of parents plays a big role. And even in like 1 to 5, those are the developing years. And if they are in a strong nucleus, a strong
nuclear family,
you can see that those kids are thriving even from a young age.
We work with young kids and we see that.
Family, parents,
they play that a lot.
Big role.
Like we work with kids and we have kids whose parents are not together, and that is kind of very strange in China. But the kids that are with just the mom at home, they behave completely different. I had a girl and she asked us to beat her. Beat her, like
the
pull,
girl.
Yeah, she's just 3 years old. She asked me to pull my hair. I'm so angry, and we can't figure out what is wrong. But she always talks about how much she doesn't like her father. Her father is not in the home, and it's a very sad thing to see. It really does impact children a lot.
Yeah, I also share with you that I used to have this student that during Father's Day, when we were doing the arts and crafts for parents, like for the father, he will just rip it away and he will start screaming like, I don't have a father, and just all this anger. And I was just shocked to see, like, you're such a tiny human. How can you have so much rage?
It's already, that is already developed within him, within them. And so having children outside of marriage, I don't support it. I don't think that women should just have kids because I'm a woman and that's what I'm supposed to do. The family was created by God, and God knew that we needed support.
Both parts.
We needed mom and dads in the house. I do believe that we need to decide to go back to more conventional family structure where
be responsible about it, because it's the future of society.
It's the future of society, and our society is crumbling because of this single parent household, violence, crime, just really bad behavior in school. Teachers are suffering because of the bad behavior of kids. So we need to take a stock of what we're putting out in the world and try to raise better humans.